why the biggest stock market crash is on its way. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and trading is the most hardest thing you'll ever do, and it takes a long time to become a good trader. So this video is just educational only. If you're struggling with your trading right now, then click on the very first link in the description and get learn a free training, the 7 universal laws to become a master trader that will boost your success, consistency, and confidence without spending a decade trying to figure it out. Click on the very first link in the description right now. Hey traders, hope you guys are doing well. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about, and I want to share with you something that is really interesting, and I'm not doing this as a scare factor, but I'm doing this as a factual factor. There's a bit of a tongue-tied twister for you. Tongue-tied twister. Man, I'm coming out with all these doozies today. Yesterday I was like the pony point and ching ching and bong bong, and anyway, yeah. So the factual factor. Now, what we're looking at here is we're looking at the Dow Jones here, okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to remove the emotion as much as possible from what we're looking at right now. And we're looking at a monthly line chart here, okay? A monthly line chart. Now, there is a thing called price and time, all right? Price and time. When the market does too much price in a short period of time, then the market needs to catch up. Now, generally what happens is, if the market goes pretty vertical, then that's when you're looking at bubble territory. When it's slowly crawling up, like you could see last year, right? This is the Dow Jones, obviously as before, Dow Jones monthly chart, and you have these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, all the way up. And yeah, so you can see that's basically what happened through there. And so yeah, so higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all the way up. And so it really wasn't, there wasn't really a vertical spike, was there? So, but as you can see, ever since the Trump election, we've had this pretty vertical spike. Now, this happens in every market. If we look at, say, let me go back to, say, Amazon here for a minute, all right? Back in the tech bubble days, let me show you what was happening on the charts back then. As you can see, that whenever the market goes vertical, like you can see here, right? This here was obviously Amazon in one year, it went up 500% in 1 year. So you can see basically what happened there with Amazon. And I talked about this last year about Bitcoin as well too. And what ended up happening is that eventually it came crashing down. Then what ended up happening, we had another vertical spike, and then we generally end up come crashing down. As you can see, right, we end up. And then as you can see, we've now started to go through this phase through here on Amazon. Now, if you're looking at Amazon right now, what do you think Amazon is in right now? It's in a what? Bubble. It's just, if you look at a chart, you can really see what I'm talking about here. Obviously the big vertical spike, but look at this last little blow off top. So that tells me that Amazon is probably on its way back down to at least 1,000 on this chart. Now you can see that's what happened there with Amazon, okay? Let's go back and have a look at Bitcoin here for a minute. All right, Bitcoin was the same. Now, Bitcoin, I was screaming bubble, 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 all of the end of last year, because of what the market was telling us, right? When something goes vertical like this, we now end up having a retracement. So where it is right now, I believe we're likely to get back down to 2,000 or 3,000, because you can see this is where it all started. So let's go back to the daily chart for a minute. And what's happening on this daily chart? Lower highs, lower highs. Now, we're not going through a big vertical crash, are we? We're not going straight down. But as you can see, the buying legs, the buying leg here and buying leg here and the buying leg here, those legs are not as strong as, selling leg here. Oh, wrong one. Anyway, they're selling leg, selling, right? So you get this nice, the sellers are strong. So I'm actually expecting something like this, and maybe even the next one comes back down and it's going to go back down here. So I believe that's what's going to happen. Now just remember guys, that this crash, this whole downward move has only been, what's that? 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months. Call it 2 months worth of downward action. 2 months, and Bitcoin retraced how much? As much as 60%. More than 50% it retraced. It's back now. High was almost 20,000. It's around about 10,000 now. I don't know the exact number it is right now, but that's what I'm saying there. So as you can see, by looking at these long-term charts, especially these monthly charts, whenever you get something vertical like that, you can see the market's likely to drop down. Now, Just by looking at that with no emotion here, go back to the indices and now look at the Dow Jones chart on the monthly chart, and what do you see? A big vertical spike. That is a bubble. It's the exact same thing as Bitcoin. What's likely to happen? We're likely to see a pretty big downward move. You know, at least a 50% retracement of this is a minimum target. So, you know, 20, you know, I would say down as much as 20,000 would be our minimum target of this one through here. That's where we're likely to head down to, and I believe we're likely to head down a lot more on the Dow Jones. So, but the big picture to me once again says, look at that. Now, same for, this is the S&P 500, but even on the Nasdaq, look at the Nasdaq. Last time we went this vertical was what? Tech bubble, right? Look at the tech bubble there. Now, this here to me is a lot more steeper. Than anything else. So we are getting ready for the biggest stock market crash in history. It's all over the charts. So you see these long-term charts on here. Now let me go and show you what I'm seeing on silver and gold here, right? So let's go have a look at silver. I'll show you what's happening with silver first. So silver's doing what? Let me bring up, let's go back to this monthly chart. So silver's doing what? It's going, we're just making this basically overall. You know, you can see basically we're doing this overall little sideways through here, but I believe this is a low. This is likely to be a high low, and I do see that we're likely to start seeing this sort of action happening in silver real soon, right? See, the thing is that silver and gold probably won't go down because it's not in a bubble territory. For something to crash, it needs the bubble first. Makes sense? If it's not bubble, like you see, you know, in 2008 when the housing market collapsed in America, what were the places that collapsed the most? The places that bubbled the most. I've spoken to people that got into places where the market really didn't move much, you know, over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years during the 2005, 6, 7, 8 period. And when the market did collapse, their property didn't go down much, so it was actually pretty stable. So if something's got a bubble before it crashes. And the same with gold. What's happening with gold right now? Again, this is a long-term monthly chart. Look what's happened here. Gold. This is why gold for me is a massive bottoming pattern. Tell me this is not a massive head and shoulder on gold right now, and we're getting ready to go through a massive bull run. And when everything starts to collapse, the safe haven is going to be in gold as well too. So biggest stock market crash in history is coming, and gold is going to explode. And when it does, when we start to break past where it is right now, we're going to see Bitcoin prices, I believe, in gold. I honestly believe that, because this thing is going to go vertical like it did back here in 2010. If you bring up the GLD chart here for a minute, you can see what happened here back in 2010 and 11. Same with the silver price. Look what happened with the silver price, right? Look at this here. When something goes vertical like that, guess what? It's likely to crash. Now, you don't know when. The problem is when it is going vertical, you don't know where it's going to end. Is it going to end at 38? Is it going to end at 40? You just don't know, right? But look what happened here. Woof. From there to there, it went down 50% in 7 months. Obviously, this very first big drop here was like 30% in 1 month. Or 1 or 2 months. Anyway, so as you can see there, and that's the reason why I'm a big believer in gold, because gold is the only market out there that hasn't bubbled. When everything starts to come down, and as you can see, as Bitcoin's starting to drop, and as the stock market's starting to come off, guess what's forming a massive bottoming pattern? Ding ding, that's right, gold.